Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Hugo and today we're going to see what's going to be the 5 stocks for this week, and we're going to have a look on my portfolio and also on the market and on Bitcoin. So stay around. Before we start the video, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Only 6.2% of my viewers are subscribers, so don't forget to smash that button. So let's get back to the video. So we're going to start the week with a ticker CVX, Chevron Corporation, which is one of the companies that I have on my portfolio for a long time. They have a dividend yield of 4.70%. They actually went down a little bit. They were included in my previous videos as a stock with a 5% of dividend yield, but they went down now. Also, they increased a bit from the past few years, and they pay quarterly February, May, August, and November. They are undervalued in 14%, and the ex-dividend date is going to be on the 17th of November, so we still have time to buy this one. And the financial health is going to be a G. So they have, in terms of assets, around 32 billion, and in terms of liabilities, around 25 billion. The market sentiment, we still have a buy, but the future growth is around minus 0.1%, which is not quite good. Also, we have an increase on oil. Probably in the future this may not happen, and therefore it's already forecast for a growth of around minus 0.1%. But since it's a stock that I have in my portfolio, I don't have intention to buy it more, only if I do some average, if they went down quite a lot. Otherwise, I'm going to stick with it until they give you this type of high dividends. Other stock that I have on my portfolio, which is on the UK market, is a GlaxoSmithKline with the ticker GSK.L. They have a dividend yield of 5.3%, and bear in mind this is actually after tax, the 5.03%, comparing to the others. Actually, this is higher than the others because the others we still have the 30% tax over the dividend yield that we're going to get. In terms of payments, they pay quarterly, but in February, May, August, and November, a little bit different from the others. And they are undervalued in 61.1%. This is what I like from GlaxoSmithKline. The ex-dividend date is on the 18th of November, so we still have time to buy this one. And the financial health is going to be a B. So in terms of assets, we have around 18 billion, and in terms of liabilities, we have around 22 billion. That's why we have a B. In terms of market sentiment, we have a hold, and the future growth we have around 14.2%. So I do think this is actually a really good stock to have on your portfolio. I do have on my portfolio, and I have intentions to keep with it at least for the next upcoming year, or within 2 years at least. The ticker VLO, Valero Energy Corporation, they have a dividend yield of 5.11%. They pay quarterly February, June, August, and November. They are undervalued in 50.3%. The ex-dividend date is going to be on November 17, and the financial health is a G. So in terms of assets, we have around 18 billion, and in terms of liabilities, we have around 14 billion. The market sentiment is still a buy, and as you can see on the market, they went down quite a lot in the past month, past few weeks, and the future growth is around 41.7%. So this is a really good stock to buy and to have on your watch list and your portfolio. Actually, this stock, if we see the fundamentals, is a little bit better than the Chevron, but we need to bear in mind that Chevron want to do a merge with Exxon, and that will become a huge company, and therefore we need to have that in consideration as well. It's not the fundamentals that you need to see, it's also more information that you need to be aware of the company that may increase the stocks quite a lot, and that's one of the things that I have and why I still continue with the Chevron on my portfolio. The ticker SBRA, Sabra Healthcare REITs, so they have a dividend yield of 8.16%. This is actually one of the highest dividend yields that we have for this week. They pay quarterly February, May, August, and November. They are undervalued in 62.1%. The ex-dividend date is going to be on the 15th of November, so we're not going to have time to buy this stock because it's going to be the ex-dividend date today, and we need at least 2 or 3 days for eToro to process our order. The financial health is a G, so we have assets around the 700 million, and in terms of liabilities around 140 million. So they are quite healthy. And in terms of the market sentiment, we still have a buy and a future growth, which is amazing, with a 57% of future growth. This for me is a quite interesting stock. Actually, it's one of the I'm having on my watch list as well. to buy in a upcoming future and maybe switch with some that I have on my portfolio, which are as well REITs. And I do recall, for example, that I have on my portfolio the MPW with a dividend yield of around 5.44%, I think. And this one is much higher than the one I have at the moment. So I probably do think if I'll change it. The other one is also on a REIT on the healthcare as well as SBRA, and this has been quite interesting stock. But there's more information that we need to read about, for example, cash flows, the debit, and other information that I didn't dig so much, and that's why I didn't went for SBRA yet. And we need to have in consideration as well SBRA has a lower market cap than MPW. Last but not least, we have the ticker IEP. I also spoke about this stock in the past in my channel, ACAM Enterprise LP. So they have the highest dividend yield I ever seen with a 14% of highest dividend yield. They pay quarterly in March, May, August, and November. They are undervalued in around 10%. And the ex-dividend date is going to be on the 15th of November. So this is another one that you can't buy right now. Well, you can, but you need to wait for dividend for the next quarter. You need at least for the 2 or 3 days, because the ex-dividend date is it's today. The financial health, it's a B, and the market sentiment, we have a buy. In terms of the future growth, we have only a future growth of 5.5%. As you see, the stock went down quite a lot. In terms of assets and liabilities, we have around 52 billion on assets, and in terms of liabilities, around 62 billion each, which is not much of a difference, but there's still some difference. This is also energy sector, which is quite influential by the crude increase that we had. Although they went down, this is a risk. I do consider this is a high risk ticker, but with this dividend yield and future growth of 5.5% is something that we need to have in consideration for at least for a medium term investment. I don't consider for a long-term investment because of the high risk that we have here. So now let's have a look into the markets. Let's see what's going to happen in the SP500 and on the Bitcoin. So in terms of the SP500, we're going to see a raise around the 1.52%, with the BS remaining a little bit bullish for the next upcoming week, with targets around the 4,715, with probably extension around the 4,756, as we can see around here. But this for this week, I won't count on this. I will count around the $4,750. So we're starting to see here a big consolidation with a really strong support around the $4,650, which is quite good. I don't think as an alternative scenario, if we go down around the 4,622, so I won't consider we pointing for this week around these values. So I do think we're going to have an increase as expected around the 1.54%. In terms of the RSI, we are seeing a upside momentum, as we can see here, with the moving average. We're already trading above the moving average, but probably we're going to stay around the 70, no less than that. So in terms of the Bitcoin, you are seeing a rise of around 2,379 pips to the 350 pips. So we may consider here the next resistance around the 66,470. So we're going to see here a rebound for the next upcoming week. It went down a little bit this week, as we can see here, around the 0.5%, not much, not more than that. And on the RSI, we are trading above the 50, with the MACD above the signal line and negative. So we'll see the next upcoming week on Monday, Tuesday, probably we're going to see 2 negative days, but then we may see a rise to the end of the week. So as a popular investor, you can copy all my trades, all the existing trades. I recommend to copy all the open trades with around $5,000, or if you can't, the minimum around 500, so you can get the most of your investments. You can see all this information on eToro, and every single week which you can see on the feeds all the updates that I do for the previous week and for the upcoming weeks. So in terms of portfolio performance, the market went down a bit, around 0.6% for this week. My portfolio didn't went down, actually went positive around 0.16. It didn't went up more because of the Bitcoin went down a little bit on the Friday and Thursday, but the increase of other stocks had actually helped me with the downside of the Bitcoin. In terms of profit since inception, we had around 14.87%. Once again, I do remind that this doesn't have in consideration all the purchases and sales that I've done before, and also what I've accumulated in terms of the dividends, which is quite a lot. In terms of the last 12 months return, we have increased from the last week around 1%, which we have increased from 40% to 41.92%. As the top gainers, we have Facebook with an increase of 4.01%, which was quite good for this week, since I have in consideration all the rest went down. Activision with an increase of 3.26%. I do recall Activision last week we had from the app that I use, which is the trade Delta. We have this as a negative investment, and now we see here the results. We have a positive investment with an increase of 3.24%, and this is what I'm cashing in at the moment. With Com, with an increase of 2.32%, this is actually one of my worst performing stocks. I'm having some thoughts around this stock, but they predict a big future growth, so that's why I'm still sticking with it. They have good cash flow, they have good EBITDA, they have good balance as well, so that's why I'm still sticking with it, although the performance last year wasn't great, and that's why it's reflecting now. Google had increased as well of 1.97%. This was actually one of my acquisitions from 2 weeks ago, and we have Amazon with an increase of 1.52%. In terms of the top losers, we have IAG.L, which is International Consolidated Airlines, with a decrease of 2.62%, but this is a stock that I'm going to stick with it. They have still a lot to grow. Some countries in Europe, in terms of flights, are not still operating 100%, so there's a lot to grow. And of course, Disney, I'll never sell, and had a decrease of 1.58%. Actually, I've done some averaging here. And we have Armor Residential. It's a REITs. We had a decrease of 1.23%, but they have a high dividend yield. And Cardano had a decrease of 1.06%. And we have Pfizer as well with a decrease of 0.97%, which in the past week had increased around 2 points from last week. The performance indicators and actions, we have payments of DIV, JNQ, HIG, PFF, Realm, and AGNC. We didn't have the new acquisitions. Actually, I'm intending to buy one of the ETFs, SPHD, which is a really good ETF, and I'm thinking to have some open orders there. When is it going to happen? I don't know, because they went up quite a lot in last week. So I have made a pause there. I'm waiting for the dip. Probably January when it's going to happen. In terms of close orders, we don't have nothing, averaging none, and top payers we have AMZA. The top dividend yield is still QYLD with 11.80%, and the portfolio is undervalued in around 44%. In terms of future growth of my entire portfolio, we have a decrease here, a slight decrease from the 8% from last week to 7.9% of this week. In terms of good decisions, I didn't have none. In terms of bad decisions, the solution tells me that I did had Disney, which I bought around $160, and they went down around $159. So this was actually happened almost at the end of the market close. I didn't have any chance to reinvest more, but it's only a difference of 1 cent. I do believe for the next upcoming week, as soon as the market open, we're going to have a really positive result on Disney. So that's why I'm not considering here a bad decision. Bear in mind, in terms of good decisions and bad decisions from the beginning, I have around 32 good decisions and 11 bad decisions for the entire year. But this is something that I'm going to compile all this information more towards the end of the year. So now let's have a look into the spreadsheet and see what happened in terms of the stocks. So if you are seeing this spreadsheet for the first time, here is where you can put your total amounts of investment. In here we're going to have the percentage that usually when you copy me the percentage that you're going to get for each stock. Here we're going to have each symbol, each ticker, and here are the payments for this week. So we have here AGNC, we have here Div, and we have here as well Realm. On the left will give you a full view of how much you're going to receive per month and what's going to be the balance and what is the diversification of my portfolio in terms of crypto, ETFs, US market, Chinese market, UK market, and in terms of balance. My portfolio in terms of strategy, 73% it's going to be stocks, dividend stocks, and in terms of growth stocks we have around 26%. So, and once again, if you like this tips, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the like, and I'm hoping to see you the next week. So once again, thank you, cheers, and see you next week.